So, Andreas, tell me about what you're working on. It sounds like you have a fun project.
Yeah, so like we made the short film called Nacham, and it premiered at the Cleveland International Film Festival this year, and there it actually won, to our surprise, won like Best Live Action Short Award and got like now qualified for Oscar consideration.
Amazing. Congratulations. And how did you feel when you found out that it was Oscar consideration worthy?
Yeah, I was thrilled. I mean, I was back then I was shooting another like short film, and I was like really tired in the evening, and then I got that email from the festival director Paul Sloop from Cleveland, and I had been to Cleveland but just for the first half of the festival, and then the second half I wasn't there anymore, and then I found out I actually won the award, and that was really a good surprise. I was very awake at that moment. Yeah. That's really great.
Amazing. And how would you describe the film?
Oh, so it's a 30-minute film about World War II, and it's about Mitka, who's 12 years old, who's an orphan and who works with his violin in a Ukrainian restaurant and plays there together with a pianist called Igor. And there they make the music for mostly like the Nazis who visit that restaurant very often, and nobody knows that they like plan, like Mitka plans an attack on the restaurant because he's part of a Jewish partisan group. And when he gets closer to the attack, actually he might have to sacrifice his only friend Igor in that restaurant in order to make the plan go through. And so it's a story about, based on a true story, and I found out about that story like 8 years ago, and I realized I really wanted to transform that into a film and make the situation in which the boy was like understandable for a bigger audience.
That's incredible. And what would you say was the hardest part about making the film?
I mean, there were like many challenges, like the violin playing, and then like the whole language thing with Ukrainian. Some were speaking Russian, some were speaking German. Then there's a little bit of Yiddish parts in it, and that was all very challenging. But like very challenging was during the shoot the fact that you had to like coordinate all those parts and always focus on the most important, like the story between those two characters, mainly like the pianist and the violin player, and just to like not lose the focus, to always focus on their relationship. I think that was quite challenging, but also really exciting to do, because I was like really overwhelmed with what the actors were giving to me, and yeah, that was really great.
And how did you get it down to only 30 minutes?
Yeah, we were thinking of doing like a feature film out of that, but then it got like, yeah, it's really like hard to fund a feature film that is historical, and especially it's still like part of a film school, and the scale of the production would be quite big in our case. So we decided, okay, let's try to put that in a 30-minute film, and to make it as tense and as touching as possible, and like it would be easier to find the money for 30 minutes than for 90. And so we started writing on that and realized, okay, we can like start the story quite late, so it would go to this point in time where he actually plans this attack, and realizing that that kind of would work in a historic and dramaturgical way. And so yeah, that's actually when we realized, okay, we're gonna try to tell this within 30 minutes, although it's a lot of content. Yeah.
That's incredible. Is there any chance that you might make another movie, like a sequel or something, since you do have the footage?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe what we're actually right now working on already is a little bit of a longer kind of story about all that. So like focusing more on the partisan world before that actually happens, and that's a little bit of what we're working right now on.
Amazing. And what's one scene that you're most looking forward to everybody seeing without giving too much away?
Sorry, one scene that
You want everybody to see, like you're most excited for everybody to see.
from the film.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good question. um, well, I mean, there's of course one scene that's I think received quite tensely in a way when Mitka goes into the restaurant. He kind of was at the Partisans the night before. He has an empty violin case, and in the violin case, instead of a violin, is the explosives. So he walks towards the restaurant and gets stopped by the main officer there at the square, and he's a Nazi officer, and he asks him where he comes from and everything, and eventually he asks him about his violin and whether he could take a look and stuff, and often that of course creates a lot of tension, and it ends on a note where nothing, I mean, I'm spoiling it a little bit maybe, but it ends on a note, without trying to spoil it, it ends on a note where the officer kind of doesn't know what's happening, but on the other hand kind of thinks that he understood something about the boy, and we don't know what it was. So very ambiguous.
And what else are you working on?
I just finished, I mean, I'm working on several content developments at the moment, and also just finished another short film that we're sending out to festivals right now.
That's incredible. We'll have to have you back to discuss that one. I'm excited about that movie.
Yeah, we'll see.
Nice. And one thing I like asking people I interview is tell me a fun fact about yourself or something fun about yourself.
Um, something fun about myself. I that's a hard one. Yeah, maybe at the production. I mean, it's not that funny, but at the production, I was very concerned with everything to go through, and in the end I was really relieved after the filming that everything kind of went the way it was, although we had even weather breaking down, the main actor was sick for some time, and kind of realized we always can kind of get through it, no matter what happens. That was quite nice. Wasn't that funny though?
And what are you watching these days on TV or in movies?
Oh, actually, I just watched Triangle of Sadness, and I really loved it. I think it was phenomenal.
I gotta check that out. I never heard of it. I definitely gotta check that out.
Yeah. It's really great.
And where can I follow you on social media so I can continue to follow your career and all the other projects that you're working on?
Like on Instagram, you mean?
Yes.
It's Andreas Kessler, director. Yeah, just one word.
Beautiful. Thank you. I'll definitely have to send you a follow. And I can't wait to hear about your next projects when we have you on next time. And thank you for taking the time today. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks so much for the interview.
Of
Thank you.
course. And welcome back anytime. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.